Courtney, I'm telling you, yeah, with the help of having your event for CF, I did start my shopping. Listen, everybody, we know that Buffalo and Western New York is loaded with history. Seemingly everything here is named after somebody. Well, did you ever wonder who those people were? Well, our next guest sure has. Rick Valkowski took great pains in his new book, Profiles, Volume 1, Historic and Influential People from Buffalo and Western New York, the 1800s. So welcome, Rick. Nice to have you back. It's been a long time.
Right, been a while.
Founder of the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame, so if he looks familiar, Rick has his own great history here in Western New York. You started with the 1800s. Here is the cover of the book, and all the people that we just routinely mention their names, you have mentioned. And it's really fascinating to hear who these people were.
And it was so much fun because when I was researching it, I found out things that I never knew. And I consider myself a real history buff. You know, there's all sorts of little bits of information that are extra interesting over and above the peripheral things that you hear about.
And people love reading about this stuff. So let's just go over a few things that you found. Here is the grand opening of the Albright Knox Art Gallery, May 31st, 1905.
Correct.
Wow.
They were supposed to open in time for the Pan American Exhibition, but they didn't finish it. Okay, so it opened in 1905, and Mr. Albright's name's on it because he donated the money to get the whole thing going. And I don't know, in the book I got a picture of his mansion on West Ferry near Elmwood.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow, what a time to live in Western New York. Here is the portrait of Joseph Ellicott. Obviously, we all know Ellicottville, and I'm assuming there's a connection.
Well, he's the Howland Land Company. He's the guy that laid out Western New York. He surveyed it, and he's the one that sold all the lands.
Look at him. So now you have the backstory. This is a great book for gift giving, just a great book to have on your coffee table. Here's a figure of the young Grover Cleveland.
Right. Now, you heard of Allentown, right? Lewis Allen's the founder of Allentown. He was the uncle of Grover Cleveland. And Grover Cleveland came to Buffalo and was planning on going to Cleveland. And Allen talked him into staying in Buffalo for his law career.
Incredible, and the rest is history, as they say. And you make it so readable, so much fun to read these stories. Now, here we have the portrait of Sherman S. Jewett. Jewett, we know that last name.
And he was the Jewett Stove Company, okay, which was in Buffalo, and they sold their stoves all around the entire United States. Manufacturer when Buffalo was the king of manufacturing.
So if you have an old stove, that may still say Jewett on it. And
I don't know if you'd have one that says Jewett on it.
Well, they would be sometimes. You know what? When I was in my first house in Buffalo, they had a kitchen in the basement. And we had such old stuff down there, I would not be surprised. If you still might have an antique. Portrait of Joseph Maston.
Oh, Maston, if you went to Maston High School, that was him. He donated all the land for the school and everything like that. And he was also mayor of Buffalo.
Mayor of Buffalo, did you know that? Joseph Maston was once mayor of Buffalo. Now, I love this picture because it's a portrait of Chauncey Olcott, okay, Olcott Beach. And look, he looks like a Chauncey. Looks like it's, just look at him.
He grew up in Lockport and in Buffalo. And when it's St. Patrick's Day, Irish eyes are smiling, that's him. So when everybody says I'm Irish on St. Patrick's Day, you're singing songs written by somebody from Buffalo.
And that's who he is, Portrait of Chauncey Olcott.
In fact, we put him in the Hall of Fame a couple years ago.
Did you? Yeah, for music, right?
Yeah, he finally made it.
Who knew? Now here, this is a famous picture. This is Frederick Law Olmsted.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, he laid out the entire city. And what's little known is Buffalo was like planned after the way Paris looked. So with all the parkways and everything like that, and put all the parks together. And I love this picture because it's all him with the wildflowers.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
You know?
I would hope that he would be proud of what we have done and continue to do in his name.
If you notice, Niagara Falls is going back to more of a wildflower look. They're going back to what Olmsted created, you know?
And you have so many people in here. There will be a volume 2 for the 1900s, which Rick is already partway through. But you were saying, look for other names. Like you have a Mr. Steele in here, and you have a great story for him.
Oh, yeah, Steele was an actor from Buffalo. And his father actually worked with Abraham Lincoln in writing a document called the Emancipation Proclamation.
That's all.
You know, just that, you know. But what it is he invented the folding chair. He invented fireproof curtains and really the movable stages. We wouldn't have stages like we have today if it wasn't for Steele.
You know, Rick, this is a great book for kids to also, if they want to do history and research on these wonderful people from Western New York.
One of my hopes is when you do local history in schools, there's really no book for it.
No.
I'm really hoping that the school system in Buffalo and Erie County might pick this up, especially when a book for the 1900s is also done.
Here's something interesting. Here's the portrait of Dr. Roswell Park. I always thought Roswell Park was named, the park part was named after the buildings. No, it's actually Dr. Roswell. That's his first name, last name, Dr. Roswell Park.
In fact, when he came to Buffalo, he was so young. Some people in the medical community says, gee, he's too young to run everything here. But we know him for cancer research.
Yeah.
He was also important in many other brain surgery. He was also important in sterilization. He was also important in patient rights. You'll find all that in the book.
And it's, how long did it take you to do this?
18 months just working on the book.
Wow, 18
You know,
months.
most of it was done over the internet because obviously when you're doing people in the 1800s, you can't talk to many people.
Now, Rick, you have a book launch coming up. We want people to go.
Yeah, the book launch is going to be next Tuesday, the 29th, and it's at Talking Leaves on Elmwood Avenue.
Okay.
And after that, it's going to be available at bookstores, gift stores, and historical societies all across Western New York.
Fantastic.
Of course, on Amazon and my webpage.
So go and look for this. Profiles Volume 1. You'll be so proud of our roots. Historic and influential people from Buffalo and Western New York, the 1800s. We're going to have Rick back when he's working on the 1900s. Thanks, Rick.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great book. Great book. You'll love it.